What's going on YouTube? Time for the recap. So, nice little Monday start for us. Total crossed here. The top step accounts were totaling 5K. No, we did 2 on that one, right? Yeah, 4K. 4,000 here, 22 on the other. So $6,200 morning here for us on the Express Fundeds. Our last couple trades that we had in here, we left out with a play for the group, posting some P&Ls there in the other. And what we got here was must tag orange short. And, well, we had a couple different ideas. We needed it to be after 10:30, 11 euro close, most likely, for that short to work out. We needed to push into the 200 SMA daily, which you see in the purple right here. We had the short under, right? Structure break under. We kept saying structure break under for our chat nonstop. We have to look for that after 10:30 or 11 a.m. I wanted to get the shorts down, and I put target 1 right here in the gray box, target 2 right here in the gray box, and those were the short target number 1s and number 2s we put out for the group to watch for your trade. Let's see how it did. All right, so here's the 5-minute. We're going to go down to the 1 minute because we were trading that. We had a slow, grindy, gnarly day to the upside. So I'm only going to go over 2 little things that we had played here for today because something's so strong going to bounce overnight. I'll go over on the Anchor View apps. Here, well, shoot, why don't we just do that first? So on the gap up here that we had, right? So we had this monster. There we go. Gap and go. And right from our Anchor VWAP video confirmation with Fibonacci, check it out if you want to. We had this gap and go. So what did we do? We used the opening anchor and a high anchor. Notice we broke out to a fresh high, went to consolidation mode. What did we teach you in the video? Extra confirmation with fibs. We went to the high-low. Boom. And what did that give us? The Anchor VWAP system we went over mixed with the perfect golden pocket of the Fibonacci's high-low opening range. We also posted a couple times in Discord. There is a 100% upside scam coming, 0 chance for downside. We actually said it last night too in our Discord, and well, this is what we got, 100% upside. And noticeably, interestingly enough, that gap up candle gave us that entry here, and then if you walked the Fibonacci's up, she completely never returned after the 100 breakout. So if you're looking at the high-low range here, we held the GP, we held those Anchor View apps, met the 1618, 2618, and of course we're hitting the 3618 at the end of the day for a massive force up. So just a little piece of the pie there that we had for our Anchor VWAP class worked out really well for the Futes after hours. Let's get into this 1-minute chart. So we charted this off in must tag, and we said structure break underneath the 200. Let's move this, get a little cleaner right here. So we had no GP tags right here, right? And this is why our targets were right here and right here on the 5-minute chart. So we needed it to come down, right? And we got target 1, but it kind of popped back up one more time. And like we said, after 10:30, 11 a.m. is when the functional short would happen, okay? That's what we always tell our crew for the Euro close. So you're looking at after 10:30, 11 today. It was right here at the 11, and it was after the fact of 11. And we did very stress the fact that we needed to see under the 200 SMA daily for structure breaks and continuations down to target 1 and 2. It hit target 1 right here on that short. We got out and we're done because we needed to back test the 100 EMA, which flung it back up. And if you were listening in chat today, we broke over that 100 EMA in the green right here along with the VWAP, and we look for back test later in the day when that happens. So you could see that break over the purple dash line of the volume weighted average price and the green 100 EMA. And if we move later on into the day, we look for structure breakdowns after 11 a.m. into those back testable zones, aka the 100 EMA and the VWAP. And of course, we said we needed to get under 200 SMA daily. So let's take a peek here. So the structure break is what it looks like right here. And this was also a 1-minute gap open. Let's remove that because we were going to target that guy right here for the short as well. So we did come back down here through the 200. Notice the break, right? Because we rode that 100 EMA. The 2 back tests we needed were the VWAP and the 100 EMA. The first one came at the 100 EMA, obviously, popped up just a little bit. And then finally after 11 a.m., we got that structure break to the downside. What does that structure break look like? Well, if you back up a little bit here, you're going to see all these higher low, higher high systems, right? Just higher low after higher low after higher high after higher high, all the way until this point right here. That was more of, it is a higher low, but it's that first tag of that 100 EMA back testing for the confirmation of support, ran her back up, and we finally got a structure break candle right here. So this big wick right here, 11:30 a.m. Central, broke through this little higher low double bottom area and finally snapped, giving us a structure break, filling the 1 minute gap target we had short as well. So after a structure break occurs, we look for confirmation of trend. So it broke through to the lower low, popped up, gave you a lower high. And what happened? Well, our rolling support we looked for at the 100 EMA broke through and became perfect resistance, coming down to our secondary target of the VWAP. And that's a pretty standard elites lesson for us, and that's what we do. Now, to get to that point, we had a couple different confirmations here. As we have the notes, must tag, the orange zone we had up here. It had to get into 423 before we started looking to that short. So if we look at the 5 minute chart, we can give you where we got those targets from. There were just no golden pocket tag candles. So if you go into the 5 minute chart here, these right here, target 1 and target 2, you put them at the 50 way of the no GP candles. We're just going to size them up there. And then later on in the day, these were the 2 targets that we needed to hit. Now, 100 EMA 5 minute was also a player, as you see on the screen right here. Same thing. Can you see that? Nope, fathead's kind of in the way. 100 EMA has a no tag. So the opening candle kind of went down, it hit that 100, or shied that rather, 100 EMA, pushed back up, mounted that 10 SMA, and just ran forever. But we got that beautiful structure break, like we said, and we did come back down to target 1 and target 2 as we posted before it happened. What to look for, right? I mean, we can guess the market, and we're wrong a lot of the times, right a lot of the times. It's just more or less watching and learning, and that's what the biggest thing that we teach here. No alert service at all, as we always say on YouTube. So to the downside here, target 1 did hit, filled that, and after that fill, popped under and found its 100 EMA tag as well from the 5 minute, because we did shy that at open, came down, found support, did the extra run to the upside. Now we're going to close above that 200 SMA. So those are the only 2 metrics we pointed to the downside for that upside. How we got it was the 5 minute open, right? So 5 minute Fibonacci pointed to the upside. It ran through its cycle fibs. Let's extend these to the right and show you this fib cycle to the intraday. We're going to delete this guy here because it's an algo. So watch this. 5 minute open pushes up, 1618 tag, holds support of the 10, right? I'm sorry, 2618. After we blew through the 1618, then pushes back up 31618, pulls back down 4236. Finally, kills the entirety of the fib. We didn't quite make it to the super extension. That's a whole nother story. The 666. So we finally break down back under the 200 like we needed and back under 423. Well, when the structure break occurred, you had a really good risk to reward, and this is how we kind of functioned it in chat. It was going to come under that 423 and then down to, of course, 2618 is generally what you want to see on the recycle. So we were looking for this trade here. Anything under the 200 SMA daily, under that 423.6, we could start walking the Fibonacci back down. So you had a really good risk to reward here, where if you would have came down for that structure break and then it would pop back up, well, you just stop out, obviously back above that 200 SMA daily and 573.60. So if you were shorting the structure break here into that VWAP, very good play. So we did at least get that correct. Let's look at another version on how you could have seen the top. So if you didn't want to play the recycle fibs, we had one other fib that would help you out right here. So 1125 central candle right here. You do our high to the low sauce. Notice there's a no wick here, so liquidity sweep active to go long back to there. And let's back up a little bit to the fibbies. There we go. So here's another no GP tag candle to the downside. So let's take a peek here. This 5 minute was made, obviously at 1125, and it's a very important candle because of the range, and then it's smashing into the 10 SMA and the 200 SMA. There's also one right here. I'm sure you guys are going to notice right away saying, but Brandon, there's one right here too. Yes, there is, but just pick one. It's not if they're going to work, it's when. So if you're staring at this one going, wait a minute, and it came up to the 1618 perfect, then slam GP, absolutely, that is also viable. But later on in the day for the structure break is what we're talking about. So this big guy here slammed through those moving averages and shied the GP real close but no actual tag. So pointed to the downside, we in our group generally look for the 1618 tag reversal, then to the 100. So when the structure break occurred here and it stayed under the GP, we would target VWAP, obviously, as we discussed earlier in the video, and back to the 100 after it tagged its 1618. So we did get that one, and it did cut a little bit further past the 100, right? No big deal, because the 100 EMA 5-minute, as we also talked about, was an outside indicator that doesn't always have to do with the fib. We like to stack our indicators, right, together. So if we're just marking out all these candles, other things can happen outside or inside an indicator. So let's say we're only focusing on this Fibonacci and you're letting it go down, but before it hits that 2618, if something interferes with it, like a 100 EMA, no tag needed test, well, you're obviously going to have to watch that 100 EMA for support and not just break through, into nothing land to the 2618, right? We call that like opposing forces. So if something's shorting and we have the targets all posted, the opposing force would be the 100 EMA, not allowing us to continue the trend down to the 2618. So regardless, we got that and a recovery of the 1618. So we actually had yet another perfect 100 EMA bounce to push and structure break. Things generally come in threes in the market, which we talk a lot about on this channel as well. So at the high of day, we look for 3 down moves and 3 up moves. Here you can see a 1 consolidate into that structure break, a 2 to a lower low, and a 3 to another lower low. After a 3 cycle completes and it runs into a support like the 100 EMA no tag, pops back up, starts utilizing the Fibonacci, VWAP, and 10 SMA here as support, it launched itself back into the no tag GP. So a trade that you guys would have been able to find here is one where it came long back to the GP for a scalp. It obviously defended the 100 EMA quite well through the afternoon, but the recovery of the 100 or the 1618 could break right back to the golden pocket of the candle we shied in the GP, right? So remember this green dude here because of the GP no tag. So when initially we drew that to the downside, we have no golden pocket, comes to the 1618, back to the 100, which is the rule, outside opposing force, which is the 100 EMA, and then back to GP. I probably wouldn't have traded it, back over for the big squeeze, but I definitely would have been in for a recovery of VWAP, right? So big support VWAP, back to GP center, 40, no, we're on QQQ, 10 points on the ES. I thought we were on QQQ or on SPY. So we did put out another tag here that we needed for the weekly. So we will get this week's long target. I almost posted this one at X, but we'll post it for now. But we're going to be coming back to 577.80 pretty easily on this rally, in my opinion, above the 200. So that's the prediction for the rest of the video. So those are our great day trades today, netting us $6,200 green. And what do we look for the next? Well, 200 SMA and above. Any strength above the 200 SMA, all the way up to 577.76. But if it doesn't want to rip raw overnight and have a big force up, we're going to watch for the next daily GP, because now we got a gapper, right? So let's hide this study right here. You can see what we're talking about. We always use those golden GPs of the prior days. Today was obviously not needed because of the gap up. So we have a pretty good extension target coming right here, okay? 577.76. How do we get there? Well, this is the whole structure inevitably above highs or above GP. This is the gap up candle we had suffered today. And we're going to high-low that bad boy. And then this is the range. So tomorrow we are going to look for 2 things: a lazy turnaround back down towards that GP, maybe even a little lower, mess it down to the pre, slowly gather strength off that golden pocket to do a breakout and end up where the golden 1618 is. And that would be if strength continues. If we get some oblong news or some really weird stuff that pops up and the Trumpsters going crazy again and knocks it down with more of the, tariffs, like the new ones we had just incurred with the Venezuelan oil purchasing, 25%, well, then we'll incur that downside. But until that comes, we're going to stay on track for the uptrend, and we're going to stay to the gap in go candle or gap go consolidate, because when we have a gap up and we're running into some pretty good speed to the upside, we had targeted this 3.7 center because this was a no GP. So if you took a high low on 3.7, the 50 point needed to be tagged today, and we obviously gapped up and just held that. If we're looking to our left, we do have candles like we've said way back here, 3.3. We've been covering this for weeks now on this channel. We will be coming back up here to those 3.3s, but first we got some stuff to hit obviously on the way up. So the weekly tag right here of 577.76 will be a long target. The 100 EMA daily will be a long target. And if we continue trucking through there, we will end up at the 3-3 right here, daily GP, inevitably. So if we end up getting a consolidation day, because sometimes when we have a gap up day like this, we'll open up and it has to just chill. It has to hold the GP and kind of create a candle like this. No big deal. We'll continue maybe on data, because we do obviously have a pretty wide variety of data this week coming in. GDP, one of the bigger hits there for Thursday, along with the claims. Friday has the PCE, Michigan inflation data again. Tomorrow we got a little Fed speak, but no big data pieces. Now, consumer confidence to me isn't that big deal. Home sales and richer manufacturing, it can be so-so, but it's not huge like GDP. So we'll be looking for tomorrow on those continuations. And if there is a relax day, we will be ready for it, because if the price action starts above the GP, we'll look for it to come down. If the price action starts below it, we'll look to come up. And then again, we can just create an inside candle, no big deal. If it does a gap and go, and for some odd reason it does start cooking to that upside, puts the pressure on the shorts for a gap and go, for whatever reason you were shorting the market down 12% into a 200 SMA support, that's your own problem. I don't know how you're managing that, but if we do get the continued squeeze here to that upside, we have our target. So if any of that sounds great to you, we stream live every single morning, narrate this stuff, put our plays out. We got the Discord, but we need you to handle all your own trades. I just teach. This is not an alert service. Above all, if your mentality, like we always say on YouTube, is I'm going to pay this random guy on YouTube $125 a month and he's going to make me rich, you already lost the game. That is sad mentality. So don't do that. We do give away top step accounts. If you want to be a funded account trader like we are right now, moving to the live very soon here on Top Step, and we trade our big accounts, cash accounts, and we trade options. We got a lot of different teachers in BRT, but we give away Top Step accounts, $50 every single week. So all you got to do is leave a comment on one of these videos. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We do recaps all week. Just drop a comment, like, be subscribed, and I give away $50 every Saturday during a live class. That is it. Last week we had our sponsorship, as you've probably seen, Dell22 giving out a free membership. We're waiting for our member to contact us. So if you are that winner, please contact us. And with that being said, please tune into the next YouTube. We'll catch you guys, and above all, we'll catch you guys later. And above all, trade safe, my friends. Take care.